Hey guys, Marstingan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. And so with the GT Golden Week celebration confirmed for both Global and JP, I thought I would have a look at some units that are GT related that still need awakenings to TUR that could potentially awaken from this celebration. Obviously, older units often get awakenings with the medals from new units that release, so that could be an interesting way of them getting some of these older units to be good again. Of course, there are a bunch of free-to-play ones on here as well, so they can always add either a new story event or just more than likely new stages to the story event that unit is farmed from, that would then allow you to farm up medals to awaken those units. So let us go ahead and just jump in here. Of course, we had to bring up, first of all, the man himself, the myth, the legend, STR Metarildo. This unit came out in September 2016, March 2016 for JP. So this unit is over 5 years old and does not have a Dokkan Awakening. So I mean, come on Dokkan, if you're finally having another GT celebration, if you don't awaken this man during this celebration, I feel like he's just never ever going to get one. I mean, he has the monstrous passive of defense 10,000 at the start of the turn. Whew. He does supreme damage to the enemy and lowers attack, so he is an absolute beast. Funnily enough, I remember back when I first started, in the 70% meta, unironically, he was a decent link partner for STR Omega Shenron on the STR team back in the day, because defense 10,000 at the start of the turn back then wasn't that bad. So, yeah, I would love to see this guy get an awakening, maybe expand on this sort of concept and just make him a full-on defensive beast. That would be very interesting. But yeah, this guy needs an awakening and has done for a very, very long time. So then we go on to this guy right here. So he is actually a summonable SR Super Saiyan 2 Goku who awakens to Super Saiyan 3. So I think this guy's maybe a little bit less likely, but he still isn't a TUR. And they have done this before where they've given further awakenings to those SSR units that already have one stage of awakening. So I don't think it's impossible for him to get one. Of course, if the new Goku from the Dual Dokkan Fest is going to be tech or physical, that would make sense for this guy to get an awakening with his medals. Maybe expand on, obviously, that support a little bit, make it a little bit better. Maybe change it for categories rather than typings. And then, of course, you know, you'd have to give him some attack and defense. But, I mean, nowadays it would seem a bit weird, I guess, to have a unit like this that's only supporting 2 typings. But what they could do to make it actually viable is if they give him a solid amount of attack and defense, he's on quite a few categories. They could literally make it like tech and physical types like 50% and 2 key. Because then, on those teams that he fits on, category-wise, if you want to run tech and physical heavy builds of that team, then he would be really, really good. So, I definitely think it's not impossible for him to get one. I think maybe he's less likely than some of the others on this list, but I definitely would like to see him get one. I want the Super Saiyan 3 team to just get as many buffs as possible, because that category needs to be brought back, damn it. So, next up we have the 3 free-to-play possessed, like, hybrid Saiyans. So we've got the Gohan, the Trunks, and the Goten. Unironically, they were good when they very first came out, like on the extreme physical team under the 70% Broly. Well, I guess it was just a physical team, but physical types key +3. Back then, not the worst for a support unit. So obviously, they could upgrade all of these guys. This guy gives int types 3 key and 30% defense, and then this guy is same for tech key. I don't know why they gave him and Trunks 30% defense, but they did it for Goten. So all of them getting awakenings up to TUR. They could be solid mono-type support units, even if they threw in like extreme physical. I don't know why they would, but throw in some percentage and the 3 key, give them some decent stats. Obviously, we want to see supreme damage here and not extreme, but yeah, they could be pretty decent if they got awakening. So they're a big part of the baby saga. They're the only representations of the like baby possessed Goten, Trunks, and Gohan in the game. So I think it would be pretty cool if they got awakenings as well. So next up we have the GT Cell. So of course alongside him we have the GT Frieza. These guys are fairly decent support units. The Frieza I still use on some team builds even now, because he gives extreme class allies 2 key and 25% attack and defense. but he also has 30% damage reduction. So he doesn't have any natural defense. So just having the 30% defense damage reduction doesn't make him like a crazy defensive unit. But he can still be pretty decent. He does also have a medium chance to stun, so I think he can be useful in some events even now. The Cell is not as useful. He seals, which can be useful in some events, but I feel like stunning is probably more powerful in events where you can do both. And then, of course, Extreme Class Allies Key 2 and 25%, and then he recovers 7% HP at the start of the turn. So that is a huge difference, because that 30% damage reduction that Frieza has is going to make up so much more of a boost overall for your team than recovers 7% HP, because the amount of damage this Cell will be taking without having that 30% damage reduction that Frieza has, it's probably going to equate to more than 7% of your health, depending on how many times he gets hit. His defense is really not very good. So both of them getting an awakening up to TUR would be good. Obviously, we've got a couple of other like Cells and Freezers like the GT, the other world ones that got awakenings recently as well. So they got a bunch of different link partners that already have TURs that would be good. So yeah, I would like to see these two get awakenings, especially because the Freezer, like I said, is still actually kind of useful. So then we go on to this man right here. Now, I could have included the physical Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta as well, but he's not GT related. I feel like maybe they would awaken them at the same time because they came out at the same time. But obviously this is the GT related one right here. So the only other Super Saiyan 3 GT related Vegeta, we have the STR one, who obviously already does have a TUR. I already made the which GT units should easy A video, and he is mentioned in there. So attack and defense 70%, then he gets an additional attack 60% for 5 turns after being attacked. Now, he's okay. He also raises defense on super, so, you know, you're getting a little bit of extra attack and defense that can stack up a little bit. But he's obviously not, you know, crazy good. I think his art's actually pretty cool. GT Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta does look cool to me, but yeah, he could do with an awakening. I don't feel like you'd ever use him on Global, where we still have the same name update. I don't think he's better than the STR one. And yeah, as I've said many times in this video and the previous one, Super Saiyan 3 category, I want them buffs. So I would like this guy to get a awakening. He does also have crossover, because Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta originally comes from I think it's Raging Blast. So even though he is technically a GT character, because he's the GT version of Vegeta, he doesn't go Super Saiyan 3 in GT. So yeah, I think he would be a good buff for those teams if he got an awakening. And it would be nice to see the physical one get one as well. The physical one is literally just designed for facing against Int, because he has damage reduction when guarding. But it would be very cool to see him get an easy A in terms of Extreme Super Battle Road. And so last example I have up here is this free-to-play Ice Shenron. So he's been in the game for a good 4 or 5 years now, depending on which version you play. And yeah, he's just a free-to-play farmable card. There is no other Ice Shenron in the game. So if they're not going to release a you know, a summonable one like they did with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, they brought out a new Nova. If they're not going to bring out a new Ice anytime soon, at least give this guy an awakening. Again, like, he wasn't terrible when he first came out, because the lowering the enemy's attack just on attack is quite useful. But yeah, he was never too crazy, never had really good teams to be run on. So him getting an awakening could make him a useful addition to Shadow Dragon Saga. Plus, of course, if they actually give him a solid awakening, he would link up fairly well with the Int Oceanus when we're talking about an extreme Int team. So I think this guy could definitely do with an awakening as well. So those were the top picks that I picked out. Here's all the like non-TURs for GT. Obviously some of them do have TURs and they're just higher up. So I was trying to pick out any ones that don't. This free-to-play Hellfighter 17 definitely could get a further awakening. That would be pretty cool. Baby Vegeta already has one. Yeah, I think I covered pretty much everybody. So it'll be interesting to see out of all of these guys who gets an awakening. I guess we got the STR like free-to-play Rildo could get an extra awakening as well. There's also the GT Android 18, who's another free-to-play. Like, a lot of these SSRs on the GT category that don't yet have TURs, a lot of them are free-to-play units. So it would definitely be very, very good for free-to-play players. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about the Dual Dokkan Fest because, you know, a lot of people were just saving for the anniversary for Global. So if they start awakening a bunch of these units, it means there'll be some stuff to do and some good additions to the teams for free-to-play players who aren't necessarily going to summon on the banners as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. Who do you think is most likely to get an awakening, or who would you like to see get one the most? Let me know all of that down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.